So, ladies and gents, maybe let's start with that one. What's Innogy and why we are called now Innogy Innovation Hub? Some remember it was RWE Innovation Hub, now we are Innogy. So our company, RWE, split in two parts. In one part, RWE, we have all the conventional generation and the trading business. This stays RWE. The other part, which is all the renewables, so wind and solar and so on, the grid and the retail, we have taken into a new company. This company is called Innogy. And we had an IPO on Monday. Some have maybe heard of it. The Innovation Hub, which was established end of 2014, fully, utterly switched into the Innogy. So into the new company, which is the green daughter, so to say. And that's why we are now the Innogy Innovation Hub. And for us, this really fits very perfect, because what our vision with the Innovation Hub is that we want radically innovate energy to unlock a smart, a responsible, and people-powered future. So that's our massive transformational purpose. And let me start one question to you as audience. Who of you can imagine that within the next year, energy is for free for consumers? And I mean really free, not just for battery owners. Who can imagine, it's not wrong or right, that energy is for free for consumers within the next year? Raise your hand if you can imagine within 1 year energy can be free. Okay, I would have expected a bit more hands up. I would say curious or courageous 5%. It's already today that in some areas on our planet, for example in Texas, energy is for free, really literally for free for people living in Texas, because they have so much renewables in their system that they have to get rid of it. So if you live in Texas and you have a house, you can cool it down until minus 10 degrees. You don't have to pay anything for it. And there are other developments like flat rates. We heard about it. We also developed our own flat rate at Innogy. So we're going into a world of abundance. And that's just one of the topics we are facing. And it's not just our industry is facing this. It's a lot of industries face the 4 Ds, as I call it. So we have the whole topic of decentralization. Customers get also producers. So they don't just consume something, they produce something. In our case, they have a solar panel, so they not just consume energy, they produce it. We call them prosumers. Second D, it's the whole topic of digitization. So Moore's law is still valid. Every 18 months, computing power doubles, and machines get smarter, they talk to each other. This influences our processes, but also our products. The third D is the topic of decarbonization. So it's not just in Germany or little Europe or Scandinavia, it's worldwide that less CO2 is wanted by people. Last but not least, we are all facing the D of democratization. People want to share stuff. I mean, they share their flats, they share cars. Why not sharing energy? And there are models out there also, as we heard, and we also work in Innogy ourselves on sharing models. So why not establish a Uber for energy? When we started to go into this topic, to innovate energy, Innogy, we gave ourselves 5 hard rules. First, what we do is business model innovation. We take technology as given. Also software. There's so much out there. We don't have to develop all on our own and ourselves. So let's go out if we don't have it and find it. Second, we do not all and everything, because that world is so brilliant and bright. We have to focus, and I tell you more about that in a minute. Third hard rule, what we do it fast. As we heard from Jan in the beginning, not just startups want and need to be fast. It's also the corporates. It's always when you're in the topic of innovation. So we follow lean startup methods. It's about experimenting, experiencing, failing, having successes, pivoting, all of that. The fourth hard rule we gave us was we don't have to do it on our own. I have another little question for you. Maybe more raise a hand. Who of you think that the most intelligent people work in your own company? Oh, it's only still 5%. And I just wanted to provoke it because I also don't believe it. it's pure statistics. There are 7 billion people out there. So doesn't matter if 100 people work for you or 1,000 or 40,000. Pure statistics says more intelligent people are out there. So let's partner. We have to build networks. Get this wisdom of the crowd. Get the intelligence. You don't have to invent it all on your own. We can do it together. And the fifth hard rule, by building that utility of the futures, how we do the stuff in the Innogy Innovation Hub influences the innovation DNA of our company, Innogy. So what are the focus areas we are looking for business models? And there are 5. First of all, we have the whole topic of disruptive digital. Here we are looking for business models which purely need an app, a platform, and consumers, and bringing together people who offer something and people who want to sell something. So we have here our Shine company. You find it under Shine Powered, which is also doing demand disaggregation and optimizing homes and building a community to share. We have Smart and Connected as Lighthouse. It's here about the whole Internet of Things. So devices get smarter, talk to each other. Here we have a startup which is called Consense. They just use very simple sensors in production factories, and just purely by having sensors and analytics on the energy of each machine, they do brilliant stuff in the front end for the customers to steer and optimize their factories. We have the topic of big data. Here we look for business models where we are insights, and I prefer calling it deep data. You optimize whatever kind of asset you have, where you work with customers, your processes. Here we work together, for example, with a startup called Planet OS, optimizing offshore wind parks. And why this is not just the usual stuff is what we develop as a platform to sell to others. So not just our own wind parks, but whatever wind park. The fourth lighthouse we have is urban solutions. Here we want to solve problems of people and companies living in really big urban areas. And the latest startup we are building here ourselves, a corporate startup, is called UCare. So it's a drone business, bringing together people, drone pilots, and bringing people together with who want to have an inspection of something. Last but not least, I'm very proud to announce our youngest lighthouse, which just started some weeks ago, which is called Machine Economy. Here we bundle everything where machines start to talk to each other. We have here the whole topic of blockchain, what Jan mentioned already. And just imagine, in this lighthouse, it's not a human being who is your customer anymore. It's a machine. What kind of business models do we develop in these areas? How we do that? I really, truly believe in my Clayton Christensen. So a company hardly is able to disrupt itself from inside. So we place the innovation hub as far away as possible, but of course also as close as necessary, because there is technology, talent, people, software, and so on and so forth. In that hub, we have several approaches to build innovative business models. I told you about the lighthouses. We also have established already 4 innovation outposts. One is here in London, and our London outpost lead is Kate Jack. Could you raise your hands for the others? And the colleague Clemens Pompey, here all day for whomever has any questions. We build our own corporate startups. I mentioned some of them. We do networks, we do partnerships, and we established a new corporate venture capital fund, because also besides just cooperating with companies, startups also need money sometimes. So what we do is really we tap into Horizon 3 innovations. We look to disrupt our value chain. Doesn't matter if it's retail, if it's grid, or if it's renewables. And we look for stuff which goes beyond the value chain, so which goes beyond energy. What is our specific offer to startups? First of all, of course, we give a little grant for collaboration, and we have access to venture capital for the startups. The startups work within the Innovation Hub with very experienced venture developers and mentors. And what we can offer is access, of course, to infrastructure, data, test facilities, access to markets, customers. We have 23 million customers all over Europe. And, of course, subject matter experts. You get access to events and partners. And we have established, and you can find that in the internet, a lean testing program where in 5 to 7 weeks, jointly with a startup, we test if there is something we can do together. And if yes, fine, we go into the next phase. If not, then it's also fine. And it's fast enough for a startup also not to bother too much with that corporate. Let me share, last but not least, some of our things we did in the last nearly 2 years. And let me start at the top. And this is not exhaustive. There are much more companies, but the slide was too small. So we launched business with all these either startups or partners, or built our own corporate startups. And here you find startups from the area of demand response disaggregation, like Bitchley, BigChain, which is a blockchain company. You find Planet OS, which is in big data. You find Shine, sharing and community electricity. Heliatech, who's doing a solar, very thin solar panel. Before that, we were in extended lean testing with, of course, also startups and partners. Jan mentioned earlier Consensus, a blockchain company from Berlin. We have a Dutch company here, Wellingbird, where it's all about logistics in big cities. Or Weireco, which is a drone startup we are working together with. And the mentioned lean testing, that's where it all starts. But that's also why it's clear this slide changes every week, because we start something, we test, we go on, we experience, we fail, or we stop it. And this is so developing further. So any startup or any partner or any network who is interested to connect with us, we are looking forward to that and hope we have here a good day all together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Inken. We have a colleague here of Innogy Venture Capital, Matthias Engel. Is he already in the room?
Oh, I forgot to mention him.
Sorry. If you want his money, talk to him, yeah?
Yes. Sorry, Matthias.
And how did the IPO go?
You've heard of it, or haven't you? And you've read in the newspapers and you see me smile.
Yeah, it was good. Are you happy?
I'm happy.
Did you buy shares yourself?
I'm not allowed to, as you know.
You're not allowed to?
No, of course not, because I'm part of the company.
Okay, that's an interesting way to manage it.
No, it's very easy. There are times where you're allowed to buy shares and where not. But if you're
not
deeply
during the
involved,
IPO phase,
yes, of course, if you're deeply involved in the whole stuff, and it's not just our company that's in every rules, that's not possible.
Yeah, and you have a colleague here in London, Kate Jack?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
you are active in Silicon Valley too?
Yes, we have an outpost in Silicon Valley, in Tel Aviv, Israel, and in Berlin, Germany, because we think these are some of the most innovative ecosystems of the world. And if you want to do a job like we do, you have to tap into these ecosystems.
Yeah, it's all about partnering. I like the idea. Thank you very much, Inken.
Thank you, Jan. Bye.